So thank you for being here. I'm here with the hair and makeup team of the Buccaneers season 2, y'all, which I'm super excited about. So thank y'all so much for being here. I'm gonna ask you to please introduce yourself and share which Buccaneer you relate to the most.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the hair and makeup designer for the Buccaneers season 2. Oh gosh, do you know what? I think one of the things that I love specifically about this season is that I feel like I relate to so many of them. They're all just such relatable characters. But if I had to choose one, I guess it would be Conchita, because she's a mum and I'm a mum of young kids, and I'm also so yeah, but also, God, I'm going to be greedy and say another one. I'm also a gay woman. I think I relate to Honoria and her journey and her struggles and kind of working out how her love fits into the world.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I am hair and makeup supervisor for Buccaneers season 2. I would gonna say Lizzie, just because I feel like she's one that we learn a lot about over this next season, and she kind of really flowers. And I just really loved getting to know her a bit better.
I'm Lucy. I was the hair and makeup artist on it. We had some new characters this season, and there was a lady that comes in quite early on, and her name's Paloma. And she's fun. She's like this fun, wild, like carefree spirit, and I'm kind of into it. She'll be a fun one to watch.
You're such a Paloma. I hadn't even thought about it.
I love her.
My name's Sedi, and I was one of the hair and makeup artists on the Buccaneers season 2. And I would say that I kind of really relate to Nan. I know that she has a really strong bond with her sisters, and my sister is like, well, my sisters are like my best friends. And so I could really relate to that relationship that she has with her. So yeah, I saw a lot of myself in her. So I'd say that.
My name's Mia, and I was an artist on Buccaneers season 2. I was also going to say I relate to Lizzie, but I've taken a slightly different approach. She's got a lot going on this season, which is super interesting, and she finds herself, I think, torn between like head and heart. And if I kind of like strip that back, I feel like everyone can kind of relate to that in a sense. Day to day, we can be a bit like, oh, throwing challenges and whatnot. And yeah, just her kind of like navigating her situation and whatnot. And that was super interesting and something to take from that.
I'm Abby. Was a hair and makeup artist on season 2. I also think I would relate most. I'm biased because I looked after the character, but I feel like I would relate most to Conchita. I just love what a businesswoman turns into. She's trying to make a successful living, trying to make money. She's got bills to pay. And I really think that I enjoyed seeing that side of her.
Everybody you said, I would say, like, for me, I relate to Conchita and I think Lizzie, the blend of those two characters. I loved Lizzie last season. She has like a special place in my heart, and so I'm excited to see what her storyline is. I'm a little worried, but excited for her. But Conchita, oh my gosh, like what you said, Abby, with the businesswoman aspect. I like yesterday when I was watching, I was like, come through, businesswoman, business mind. Like her glow up, not just like physically, but also inwardly, is like very much seen this season, and I'm so excited for her journey. And also curls. Like there's when she's in the carriage, she's wearing like a maroon. I'm not sure which one of y'all did her curls, but as a curly hair girl, I was like, I freaking love her hair.
Good.
That was Abby.
Well, incredible work, Abby, because every Conchita look, it's just a great reflection of how her character has truly like inwardly glowed up. So
yeah, no,
beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of the Buccaneers, you guys are working on many projects. So what drew you into working on this season of the Buccaneers?
I think for me, I really loved all the characters' journey this season. It's not like a soft launch season. It's like we get into it with all of the characters and they're all finding themselves. And I I want to go into it so much, but so much happens. And I loved the fact that we could dive so much artistically into telling those stories. There was just so much for us to do and so many characters to, elevate and show, different sides of them. So it was just really, it was great. And I just love that the show showcases, different things from, politics to, different kinds of love. I just love the show.
There was also an element of like the sisterhood as well in the show that I was a massive fan of, and I honestly jump at the chance with working with the ladies that are on this Zoom as well. So I think it kind of just mirrored how I felt about the show. So I think it was just being surrounded by so many amazing women and being able to share a story about womanhood and being with my sisters doing this. I just think for me, it was just like a win-win. So I couldn't turn it down, basically.
Yeah, I feel like this season alone could just be titled Sisters, like from like the older women to even the younger women. There's like sister bonds throughout.
100%.
Scotland. I think it's amazing. That's the other thing, the filming location. I mean, Mia is Scottish, so she has the true. I'm a Londoner born and bred, and I'd go out in the field and be like, oh my God, cows. And just seeing this beautiful thing shot in this beautiful place really kind of throws you into that time. And I just love the magic of the movie magic, if you like, of it, and being able to go to these places and look at these inside these amazing houses and inside these amazing sets and just be wowed by it.
Yeah.
I think it's nice putting like both of what they're saying together. Like when you're away from home, obviously it's amazing to see the world and to travel and everything. And we were lucky enough to do a stint in Croatia on top of Scotland. But I think the bond that our team have, like, and cast and crew, like the connection that you get when you're working away from home, it's really unique, and we get a real sense of family. It's lovely.
First time I've actually done a second season of any of the projects I've worked on in the past. So that kind of drew me back because I knew how great and lovely the show was to work on. And I knew it would be lovely to see old faces, people I haven't seen in a very long time. But then the extra bonus was Jen had asked me to be a part of her team, and I'd never worked with the girls before. Although I'd followed Jen and knew what kind of, things she was doing and whatnot, I was just like, I have to like jump in this opportunity because I knew that this platform would be like great for her to showcase her talent and just like really elevate the show. So I was like, yeah, sign me up.
Some of the girls, well, Lucy just mentioned earlier as well, when we found out about the show, some of the early storylines set in Italy, which was being filmed in Croatia. So as soon as Jen had said that word, I've got a Pinterest board made, my bag is packed there.
If you mention a warm climate, Isha's like, I'm in.
Yeah, take me.
But I'm at home in the cold. It's a perfect thing.
I love that. No, because like I work in the office, so like y'all's workspace, that is incredible that y'all get to do that and so much fun. So I absolutely love that, not only was the storyline part of the reason y'all wanted to join, but also getting to be a part of an incredible team, because sometimes you don't like your coworkers. So the fact that y'all are able to, like, after a long filming a season, be able to say, like, these are my sisters, it's beautiful, truly.
Yeah, it was, do you know what? I'm so incredibly lucky. I count my blessings all the time because, these girls are just incredible. I couldn't even do it without them. I wouldn't want to do it without them because, you spend 7 months filming. We work kind of 14, 15-hour days, and you have to be around people that you love, inspire you, that just work as hard as you do, because, that's how these things work, and that's what keeps the wheels going round. And, these guys are the best.
Yeah, because I can only imagine what a long day would be like. And if you're having a bad day, because we all have them, and you still have to like create like I can't imagine having a bad day and doing like, I'm calling it the fairy ball. I know what it's actually called, but the fairy ball, like beautiful dream of a ball, but you're like just having one of those shitty days, and it takes like a teammate to be like, hey, like we got this, like no worries. So I think that's amazing and such a testament to how strong y'all's bond is.
Yeah. I can honestly say though, on that job, I feel like there weren't that many bad days. Like genuinely, like we've had bad days on jobs before. Like we
Yeah.
all have. Like some of us have been working together for like 7 to 8 years, and I can say that hands down, that was a job where we pretty much had smiles on our faces most of the time, and that's hard with period dramas because
Yeah.
they are tough to do. Like there's no denying it. They're hard on your soul and your body, and all of it. It takes a lot out of you to create them.
Talking about styling. So I recently watched the 1995 version because I like to see like where some of the other adaptations have like styled the characters or taken the storyline. And so I was really curious if any of like the stylings from that adaptation inspired any of the looks for this season, and then like what were some of your inspiration for the looks of this season?
Yeah, so the answer to the 1995 version is no, but I have watched it because I think it's always so intriguing to see how period dramas always have an essence of the time that they've been filmed in. Like they just all do. You can see that nod to the current filming period. So it was interesting, especially because the 90s is so back in like pop culture, to kind of see how they had done it and how they had styled it. And yeah, it was interesting to see. But I didn't necessarily take any of that on this season, apart from maybe interpreted maybe some of the Nan looks further down the season. I think there's maybe some similarities there, but everyone will have to wait and see. But I know that Charlotte watched it because knows about it because she looked after Greg, who is, I'll let her tell the story, but who's in the original.
There's just one Easter egg, I guess, is that he kind of came on the bus on his first day and was like, went straight for Matt Broom, who's playing Guy, and was like, I've done this role. And they had this cute little like, oh, because obviously they're new to each other. And they sort of sat down in the chair and was like, what am I doing? And he was just such a big personality, such a lovely personality. And he was just kept talking about, oh, yeah, we did that. Yeah. And this is so different. And it was just a really nice throwback. And it's a little Easter egg for one of those things you might not necessarily know. And he plays a really interesting part. I don't want to.
I freaked out when because he doesn't just play part, it's a very meta part.
Yeah.
Like it's super meta. Like when you think about who he's playing and how. Anyways, sorry. I freaked out yesterday because I was like, he's doing this and he's doing this and that's this. And I was like, it's like so many layers like intertwined.
Yeah. And he's so well known as not Willoughby, sorry. He's so well known as from Sense and Sensibility, which is also meta because Mia, who's playing Honoria, her mum Kate played with him in the Sense and Sensibility, so they're great friends and they have a lovely relationship as well, offset. So it was just another little layer in there.
Love it. I love it so much. Were there any other inspirations to creating some of the other looks this season?
Funnily, what I would say is that even though it's a period drama, it does bring a really current, fresh feel, and that's what I'm excited for people to see is how we have interpreted our kind of like vision of what this show is about and what the characters represent and how they've developed through time, especially from last season. So there are obviously it is a period show, but it really does feel really fresh and current and exciting. And I think there's going to be so many moments that people will see that are going to be really unexpected. And I love how Jenny's kind of like brought that into it. So we had so much fun creating all the looks. Like to be honest, like this is the best kind of makeup looks that I've done in my career. And so I'm just really excited for everyone to see it. It's just so much fun. Yeah, that's what
I looked after Guy, who plays Theo in the show, and he, compared to season one, is definitely like a bit more badass in this season. His storyline definitely kind of pivots at a point, and so we felt like his look should kind of reflect that as well. So that was quite interesting. So took our inspiration from like more like boy band, like quite like vampy sort of looks. And then it was really in like all the small details to, kind of tweak his appearance. We did things like dyeing his hair and his eyebrows as well, just to kind of like intensify his look and add to that the way we styled his hair and whatnot, which will all kind of make sense when you watch it, but it was just to reflect him feeling himself, like in the show, his character. So sometimes you just like, you're kind of not figuring it out, but you know, as the story progresses, you're like, oh, okay, let's like take it to the next level or do this or do that. So yeah, sometimes you're just kind of rolling with it and their character and their story, which is fun.
Oh no, we all noticed the change for Theo. Like we all saw it. Like I was just like, so bravo.
We were
Noted.
we were leaning into like some 90s Oasis, that kind of like,
A bit of
that kind of
edge.
rock star. Yeah.
Well,
a slither of like
everyone-
vampire diary.
A lot of people are even calling him a little bit Darcy. Like they're like saying, "Oh, he's giving Mr. Darcy vibes as well." So
Yes.
yeah, anytime it's a Mr. Darcy vibe within like the historical drama like fandom, that's a great thing.
Wanted to lean into trends, but also historical references, like different icons. So kind of did a mix of like Strawberry Girl makeup for kind of trend for like that kind of soft glow. We also Grace Kelly was a huge inspiration for Nan this season. You'll see lots of that. I want to really kind of showcase how much we kind of dove into pictures of Grace. And yeah, there was, you know, I love the fact that Conchita, it almost is this inspiring kind of Victorian version of a modern day influencer. So we kind of just mixed up loads of historical references with like current trending stuff, pop culture. It was just like a big amalgamation of, you know, lots of different references.
Nan's like grand entrance of the Duchess.
Yeah, I can't tell you what a stressful filming day that was.
Imagine.
It was, oh my goodness. I don't know that I've had such a stressful filming day. It was, I mean, the thing is, there's no dialogue in that whole section of filming, and it's all about how she looks. And you know, often scenes are kind of softened by dialogue and this and that, and this was like a commercial. It was all on Christine Nan, and yeah, it was great. I really knew what I wanted to do with that hair look probably months before I even started the job. I was like, I would sit and kind of think about it at night. And I would kind of brainstorm all the ideas and visuals for it. But I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to do. But it was a very quick elevation for her character, which it took a while for me to get my brain around. But you know, she is doing this for her sister, and that's at the root of it. And she's just gone, I'm going to use my power in the way that I can to distract from the papers from Ginny. And that's what's at the root of it. And she kind of goes in, and it's a really powerful lead up to actually that part that you've seen in the trailer. It's a really fun, you can see when it's sparking in her mind, like, what can I do? The Dowager, there's a cool scene in the run up to it where she's speaking with the Dowager, and you can see the motions going through her head. She's like, okay, this is what I need to do. And it was really fun with Nan this season, because she goes on such a journey, and you see what she feels like she should be doing, you see what she ends up doing, and then you see the kind of how that chain reaction then filters through to everybody else. And yeah, it's a really interesting journey that she goes on. Christine is so collaborative. We had such great conversations around it. We weren't going to do a tiara. We're not going to do a tiara. Then we had a conversation where we were going to put the tiara at the back of the head. So it was a kind of a bit of a nod to like, I'm going to do this my own way. I'm not going to wear it where you would expect me to wear it. So I literally broke a tiara to put it in the back of her hair. And it was a tiara we chose that I already had, that was very angular and jagged. Like all the diamonds were like very severely cut. like very angular, and then we painted them like a dark color, and we chose a really dark lipstick, which didn't read as dark as what I wanted it to. Sometimes when they edit these, when they do the editing afterwards, it can adapt the color. We went for this color Sin, which is this like really deep dark red, and she wanted it to feel a bit punky. And yeah, it was kind of a real kind of fingers up to the establishment moment. And we really enjoyed creating that. It was really fun. It just needed to feel big enough and bold enough that it was shocking to everybody around her and would make the papers. But also I had to be reined in a little bit, because I was like, no, we could go darker with the eyes. And then I was like, no, it has to have some kind of, we can't go too crazy because it already is quite a crazy moment. So we kind of just did very subtle eyes, went bold on the lip, and just very strong in the hair, like a very big, powerful shape. It was a lot of fun. It was very stressful, the shooting day. It rained and she was outside, and the dress needed to look perfect, and every little drip of rain that came down was like, and 1 minute it was like full blazing sun, the next it was cloudy. It was and we had this carpet, this like black carpet that if anyone stood on it, you could see like any tiny little speck of anything. So yeah, it was like filming. Huh?
I'm saying you just abandoned your shoes that day.
Oh,
You're so committed. No shoes allowed on that carpet.
Just walk around barefoot all over set. Like,
You
literally what
we did as well. It was just like, yeah, it was quite a scene to see.
I remember I had these like clogs on that I could like put on and off, but then I just ended up just like launching them to try and duck out of a shot. But yeah, it was a very stressful day, but very worth it. Like, so happy with how it looks. So
the show is about, young women navigating the world, and constantly tells them, how they're supposed to live. So if you could give advice to anyone who wants to go against the status quo or embrace their like inner Buccaneer, what would you tell them?
I probably, I think following your inner voice is a really difficult thing. Jenny and I have had conversations about this quite a lot. So it's almost like you have to step into your own light, and sometimes that's the hardest job you can do. But I think my advice would be, even if you make one small decision every single day that allows you to become the person, the woman, the man, whoever that you want to be, I think that's an amazing thing, because I think we live in a world where there's so many voices, so many opinions, and you can be easily swayed, and you kind of lose who you are, or you even don't know who you are. So if you can take one small step or make one little change to becoming the person that you want to become, I think that's an amazing thing. And I think I'm trying to personally adopt that, trying to listen to my authentic voice and make decisions based on that, as opposed to what I hear around me. And having a great network around me, like all these women here, it helps in that process, because it's just so encouraging. So I'd also say have a great network. If you can have a great network around you, trust in the people around you who know you the most and know you as your most authentic self. I think that's probably what I would say, maybe.
Yeah, I love that. I think protecting your friendships, and it's especially with women, is so important. And I think it's in this season more than ever. I think it really tries to show how strong and how powerful a group of women can be when everyone stands together and when people support each other. And I think as a team we did it every day, and on the show you can see them doing it to each other, and it shows you how powerful we can be.
So obviously I'm biased because I looked after Honoria, but as a character she has this opportunities to be a very a challenging self, but a true self to her and to a life that she wants to lead. And Jenny made lots of decisions with little tiny details that you'll see that kind of help you show those characters unfurling and taking their choices. Little things with Lizzie as she goes on her journey, and as little things with Nan as she goes on hers, just tiny details that people show those journeys in themselves and the way they start to look at those little tiny things, like your hair's a bit freer, your lips a bit looser, little tiny things that can really sort of show you these people becoming themselves. And we recognize that in ourselves because we are all been teenagers and we've all been, we've all done that journey where we decided we're going to change a small thing to make ourselves that truer sense of ourselves.
I think what everyone has touched upon about the strength of kind of the network of people around you is so true. You do see it in the show, group of friends and the sisters and stuff, and them navigating all of the tough things that they go through. They kind of all have each other and have each other's backs, and they find strength within each other and support each other through everything. And like Sadie said, that is, that's a reflection of real life, and that's a reflection of us. That's literally what we do on every job, and we kind of have each other to fall back on through hard times. And I think it also kind of shows nicely that not everything is always perfect, and they have really nice, amazing experiences together, but then they all go through their own lows as well, and it's just about navigating through all of that and trying to concentrate on the nicer times that they have.
So I would say don't be afraid to say no. Like, I'm turning 40 this year, and I have been a people pleaser my whole life, I think. And I am only just starting to put up boundaries, I think. And probably more for the sake of, I think I maybe wouldn't do it for myself. I think having kids has like pushed me into having more boundaries than I've ever had before. I think staying true to your boundaries, staying true to who you are, and not being afraid of saying no to things that don't serve you is something that I've definitely learned in this past year.
I'm all about manifestation and putting what you want out into the world so that it can come back to you. And so is there any shows or projects or even some that haven't been made yet that y'all would love to be a part of? Because, you never know who's going to watch this. So let's hope that they see, I want to work. I just finished, I was on Bridgerton, I was on Buccaneers. I want to be on this. So is there any TV shows or ones that haven't been made? Because let's get them made.
Manifesting as a team, so I know that everyone's going to have some really fun stuff. Abby's nodding her head. You should go.
I am manifesting something that has been being filmed for a very long time, somewhere very hot. I really I love that each thing that we work on, we learn so much about the historical time in which it was set. Mm-hmm. So I would love for it to be a period drama again. Maybe something with a few more storylines that let us play a little bit more with character makeups and something maybe a little bit gory, some blood and stuff, but definitely set somewhere hot.
I'm getting pirate vibes. I feel like that fits in with your.
I was gonna say, if y'all ever want to do Pacific Islander historical dramas, there's a whole. Look,
I'll take it.
Hawaii, I'll tell you what I've been manifesting to hopefully come true. A story about the Hawaiian royalty, and there's connections to the British royalty in that, and so. All of y'all would be perfect for that.
Oh, manifest it.
Yeah. It's a good question. I've been asked it before, and I was a bit I'm not too sure, but I the greedy side of me, similar to Abby, love doing the glam, the period. Also want a bit of Dirty Down in there, a bit of special effects, just a bit of everything. But again, coming back to the sun and the heat, we're all sun worshippers. So yeah, as long as it's somewhere warm, then absolutely. Bit of everything.
Yeah.
We almost did it as a team. We tried to manifest Mauritius, I believe.
Oh yeah,
we tried. Kind of potentially in the works for a long time. I think Lucy started that.
I did
the job in Mauritius. And something actually did pop up. It didn't end up working out, but I mean, Lucy's a very strong manifestor. So anything you want, you should ask her.
I love it.
Yeah, but I also kind of love the mystery of the industry. We actually never know what's around the corner, and even when we have an idea in mind, we're okay, we're going to do that next. Even when it's on, we're talking about it, it's in the pipeline, and then it'll click and everything will change. So you have to be yes, you can manifest, but you've also got to be a bit free and be able to adapt. Like, it changes last minute, and you've got to love it.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a failed year, I think, within the industry. And yeah, like personally, we had a couple of jobs that, didn't work out this year, and it has put us on. But I do believe, like, we had a bit of a rough year, like January, February, but our paths have kind of weirdly, like, I feel personally like I'm on a job now which I couldn't have even manifested. But I think it is the right path for me. Like, I'm telling a story that I'm so deeply passionate about. And I'm so happy to be there. And it's a different job for me. It's a contemporary job, but I am so invested and so in love with it. And I feel like if things hadn't worked out at the beginning of the year, I would not be where I am now. Also resting up for another period job.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have been asked to go to potentially go back if there was another season of the Buccaneers. So, we're keeping everything crossed that everybody loves it, so that we can go back and tell more of that if that works out. I've been reading a book about Katherine Johnson to my daughter at the moment. So I love like strong female stories, and Katherine Johnson was a mathematician and she was like really part of a lot of the space trips in the 50s. She was like this integral voice of that we don't really hear about. So I would love to tell more stories of kind of strong women throughout history. That would be nice. 50s, 60s, we haven't delved into yet, so that would be cool.
God, the hair.
Yeah, I would love to have another show. I don't know if there's been a show in recent years that's done really, I mean, Lessons in Chemistry maybe was a bit 50s, but I would like it to be more like what y'all are doing, like the magic that y'all provide with the period pieces.
Yeah, I think that would be really fun. Really excited to share as well when it comes. I can't wait to dive into each episode, like, because it's going to be released. I don't know if the world knows this, but it's going to be released weekly, which normally I'm a binger. I like to kind of like fully immerse myself into it. But what's quite nice is that the reflection time that something coming out weekly gives you, kind of like get to, it's going to give us the opportunity to actually kind of dive into it and explain it. And I think what is really lovely, and I don't know how much this came across in the trailer, but we dive in. I try to be as kind of authentic as I can. If they're going through something, I really liked it to show in their hair and makeup. We are full into glam this season, and everybody is, and everybody is elevated for sure, growing up. But there are times when people are really hurting, and I really wanted to make sure that showed. And not just the women. I think, it is an incredible show to uplift women and to see that sisterhood, but also, toxic masculinity is such a thing in the world at the moment that I think it's really important to show the vulnerability of men. And the men are also going through like these crazy things this season, Matt's character, I always stumble over this because of Matt and Guy and Guy and Guy and Guy. So hard. So Matt's character, Guy, he is going through so much. He's traveled, halfway across the world. He's Ginny has had this premature baby. He's looking after Ginny. He's looking after the baby. He's completely out of his comfort zone. And I know what it's like to have newborns. You don't shower, you don't eat, you don't sleep, you don't take care of yourself in any kind of, you definitely don't shave. There are stories within, the guys and the girls where we see how tough their situations are. And it's not just balls and parties. There's some really hard things going on too. And I think for all the glamorous moments, I think what the team has done incredibly well is shown all their vulnerabilities and when they're really going through it.
And
I
also love Josh Dillon's character and how he's like you have like the guys who are like going through it, but you also have him who's like kind of going through it, but also like that supportive. Because like I agree. I think like with all the toxic masculinity that is literally everywhere. I'm sure y'all saw what our country is dealing with right now with the children in the White House. Sorry, but and so like I think more than ever our world needs examples of positive examples to look up to. We've seen so many negative just like in reality that sometimes we go to these historical dramas to escape reality, but it's also a reflection of our world. And if we could see where there's positive men, then hopefully that positive energy becomes reality. Because like I mean the characters, film, books, I'm a huge believer that a lot of these characters, these stories shape our world, shape our lives. That's why I love them. I'm literally part of my personality is like Jane Austen, and like I grew up with like the Chronicles of Narnia and Lord of the Rings. Like the whole thing is like made me who I am. And so if we have examples of men out there that are supporting their wives or being co-conspirators against the patriarchy or toxic masculinity, I can't see how that wouldn't be a positive thing to see. And so that's why I do love like Josh Dillon's character, because this season he's like grown from like him and Conchita, like they have truly grown from the previous season, and seeing them work together and him being like, how was that? And she was like, good job. I was like, I love y'all so much. Like they're just so darn cute.
We actually love with so many of the characters on a deeper level this season. Like Ginny, for example, I don't know that I was the biggest fan of Ginny in season one. I couldn't get her. I felt like she was really cold. And one of the things that we really wanted to do, me and Lucy, was just to make her feel more relatable. I mean, she's been stripped out of, this world, and she's all of a sudden on her own, but we kind of start to see who Ginny really is underneath everything when she's not trying to please society. Like we see who she is at her core. And there are some incredible moments between her and Nan. Like I literally just fell in love with the sisterhood of the two of them, I think more than I ever had done before. And that was surprising to me, but it was really important with her look that we liked Ginny this season. Like it was really, we needed to see the different side of her. And, Lucy did this incredible job of like making her more relatable. We saw these kind of like really boho styles on her. And we really softened her.
The yellow. Sorry.
No.
The yellow top with the pink skirt look, I think, like off the shoulder. That look, I was like, that's what I was like, okay, I'm trusting Jenny this season. I'm gonna stick with her, but please don't let me I understand. Yeah. She looks incredible.
Yeah, she we see Ginny in, gosh, she has a journey. We see her in so many different lights. It's a wild journey, and we see so many looks to her, and so many layers. I mean, like just like everyone has so many layers to them, but I really wanted everybody to love, to kind of empathize and really see that softer side of Ginny. That was really important. So
yeah, and I forgot to even ask this, but like you guys have Leighton Meester this season too.
How could we even about Leighton?
Like who got to work with Leighton, and like did we talk Gossip Girl? Did we talk like Adam Brody, like her? Like
I looked after Leighton's hair. We had an incredible makeup artist called Beth Long, who isn't on the call, but she did Leighton's makeup. She's also from the Bridgerton fam as well, so that was great. But Leighton, I mean, Blair Waldorf is so iconic. And as iconic as Blair is, I couldn't think of anybody else better to play. Do we know her name yet? Can I say her name? Nell. Yeah. Okay. I was like, I
There's
can't
a lot of
remember what.
articles online. There's already a lot of articles online saying that she's Nell. So IMDb, I think, even has her
So-
as Nell.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't think of anyone better to play Nell. From the moment that Joe told me that it was going to be Leighton, I was like, okay, this tracks. This is great. And I actually think the three of them together look really amazing. Hang on, do we know that it's Christine's mum yet? Yeah, we do. We know that it's.
Oh yes, yes. In the first episode, you find out that she's and I think another. Sorry, I'm gonna kind of tangent here, but
Yeah.
she like what I love so much is where Christine Hendricks, so Mrs. St. George, and Nell have that early morning chat together, and Christine Hendricks just looks gorgeous with her like braided hair and everything, and I loved how Nell. Sorry, what?
That episode when they're the scene where they're in bed together.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but like the morning scenes that y'all have created, not just between like Nell and Mrs. St. George, but also between Nan and Lizzie in the morning. Like I said in my like initial reaction video was like, I just want to get an early morning coffee with both like groups. So growing up, my mom and I would wake up at 6 a.m., get a morning coffee, sit on our porch, sit on the porch swing, and just like either sit in silence or have a chat. And those two scenes like took me back to those memories and I'm talking as if my mom's alive, but like just being able to do that frequently with my mom, like that's how I felt with those two scenes. And y'all created in such like a beautiful way where while the conversations were serious, it was just, I don't know, I just felt at home.
Yeah, well, that's really nice to hear. I think with Leighton, it was important to me that the first time that we saw Nell, that it wasn't really a true representation of who Nell was. Like she came to the party and it was like an armor. Like she was coming and she was kind of, I could tell that she was wearing the dress, she was wearing the hair, she was trying to feel her most confident because what she was doing was hard. So I think that I kind of drew inspiration from pictures and from people that she wasn't, just to kind of show that, that was a front. And then when we cut to this scene the next morning, I wanted to show something that was really vulnerable. And she has of kind of loose crazy curls that she's slept in. And I wanted it to feel almost like old school. Period drama, almost like I wanted it to have that kind of more sense and sensibility kind of side to it. And I wanted her to feel like the little sister. Like I wanted to see those two women sat side by side in bed, and I wanted you to see the vulnerability in Nell and know that she was the younger sibling. It kind of almost wanted to feel, like you said, like mum and daughter rather than sisters.
Yeah.
And I wanted their hair silhouettes to reflect that. So I'm glad that you enjoyed that, because that was very thought out.
Yes, no, those early morning chats that the characters had together, I was just like sitting in that and being like, because life gets so crazy and you're just like, man, I kind of want to do those again. Those early morning chats where the day hasn't started, it's not super crazy. You're just like the calm, and you have that person that's like your person beside you. And so, yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, really beautiful conversation. Yeah,
Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I've had so much fun chatting with you. I probably will have so many more thoughts and things because I've only seen 3 episodes and we have, I think, 8 to, again. And I'm so excited because straight off the bat, like I've said, it was right off the bat. I was like so surprised that we met Nell in episode 1. We get the red dress moment and we have not stopped. Like it doesn't slow down. Like, and then episode 3, I was like, I can't watch anything else. Like I'm stuck here until like a month later, essentially. So y'all have done incredible. One look, sorry, I just thought about this. Another look that was the honeymoon look, gorgeous. So where she has her hair and there's like this like thatch look to it, I feel like basket. It looks beautiful. Again, I could like seriously talk about everything, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm going on a tangent. But incredible work this season. You have elevated everything. to the extreme, and it's beautiful. So where can people find you so that we can, as we go through every week, learn more about these episodes?
I feel like the whole team is definitely on Instagram. I just joined TikTok. I'm not doing a very good job, but I promise to be better by the time that the show comes out.
You were doing amazing.
And I have so much to say. So I really, if people, the fans of the books and the fans of the show, I think since doing Bridgerton, I love seeing, I mean, good or bad, I think it makes me a better designer to read those comments and the honesty and how they see the characters and how they feel about the elevation. It's important, like it's really important. You know, obviously when you're filming something, you have to keep so many people happy. You have to keep the showrunners happy, the network happy, the actors happy. There is yes, I design the looks and I'm incredibly like humbled if everybody is on my page. But also, you know, how the fans feel about the characters is really important to me. And I do read the comments because after these things come out, because it's important to kind of understand how the lens that everybody else sees it through as well. And the fans are so integral to the show. They help build a platform for us to have work, and you know, so it's really amazing to see the love that other people have for the show, not just us. So it's great. We love the fans.
Well, we love y'all. I know I do. I'm a huge fan. So do you guys want to share your handles, and then then we can wrap up and y'all can enjoy the rest of your day?
Yeah, I've just joined TikTok too, so I'm one of those TikTok girlies. So it's Forever Steady on TikTok. So I'll be definitely sharing some like behind the scenes of Buccaneers 2 stuff. Yeah, check me out there.
Yeah, more chorus stuff, and we're so excited to show the Americans.
Yeah.
So cute. A bundle of frustration and joy at the same time.
Cora has a mum that plays through the season as well. Like we're really excited to show Mrs. Merrigan.
I do love that the moms are being more involved this season.
Yeah, the dynamic between the two of them is going to be amazing. Well, it is amazing, and plus they're just the nicest people. So it was just easy to work with them. So, and again, like just personally, it was just great seeing two amazing women of color on screen and showing their excellence and them in like regal settings, and we really try to like use that within their looks. So yeah, we will definitely be sharing. We've got some behind the scenes videos of their looks that we'll be putting on TikTok at some point. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am not cool enough to be on TikTok really, but I am on Instagram, and my handle is at Abigail Richards Makeup.
Also just Instagram is at Mia Curry Hair and Makeup. You won't find a lot on there. However, after doing a job like the Buccaneers, when you're doing such beautiful looks and all the rest of it, it's definitely given me the motivation to be like, right, we need to just take a minute to appreciate the work we've done here, take a good photo, post it, and so I'll get better.
Just throw, literally what I tell everyone is sometimes you just throw it to the wall and see if it sticks, and if it sticks, it's great, and you never know whose page you're going to land on. So yeah, just post.
Social media is such a funny thing, and I feel like it was never part of our world like until kind of recently. I'm definitely in an era of turning 40 and kind of not really caring about what people think anymore. And I think it's given me maybe a bit more strength, like it's given me a bit more strength to kind of, and like I feel a bit more fearless and to kind of like I mean, I'm even showing my bare face on camera constantly now, just to kind of, you know, I don't feel like there's anything I've got to hold back. But yeah, so I'm kind of embracing this. I'm kind of embracing it a bit more.
If y'all ever need any hype, I'm happy to hype.
I know, you're the best hype woman ever. I appreciate you so much. I'm Jenny Rhodes McLean on both Instagram and TikTok.
I am terrible at social media, and every job I vow to be better, but we do have so much good content. So I will try. My handle is Charlotte Victoria Allen, and that's it.
I don't know why we're all so bad at this. Not all of us. But also not on TikTok, but Instagram is at Lou, Lu, at Lou Rowley.
Who do the fans think gets shot?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know if people, I haven't dived into that part of it yet. And because like I just came across more like the red look, the fairy look, and then people loving Theo's, I was about to call him Guy. His name's Guy Remmers, but Theo's like glow up of being like people are now, I think people are still discussing Team Guy or Team Theo. And so I don't know if we've dived into who's going to get shot. I don't even know who it could be. Personally, I was glad that somebody finally punched Lord Seaton. Like, that was something I was very happy to see. I can't stand him. I'm sure that the guy who plays him is a precious human being, but I was so happy.
Oh, Barney is such a delight, and he has such fun with it.
No, always the person that plays the villain is always the kindest human being on earth. And so I'm a little also worried for Hector because I find him to be a gem, and I'm hoping he doesn't let me down. I'm worried.
Ainsley, there's so much.
I know. We barely covered anything. Like, we chatted for so long. But there's like so much from the 3 episodes that I saw, and then I was like, crap, I didn't even ask about Hector because I love a man with a mustache, and so
I'm so glad you said that. The internet is very divided. Loads of people hating on the mustache. It's fine. I like it.
Okay. I'm also in my I don't know if it's a 30s thing because, like, you know, in the age of like 2012, 2011, we had that whole mustache like era where everybody was having mustache mugs and mustache like skirts basically. But no, I love a man with a mustache. So
I think there needs to be something in there for girls over 30, and he's amazing. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm here. I'm team mustache this season.
Even OG Greg, played by Guy, played by Greg Wise, he had a mustache in the Buccaneers, and he looked fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not sorry about the mustache. I think it looks.
I'm not either. I was just like, who is this? Who is this man? So, but no, I think if I was to give my theory on who gets shot, I kind of wonder if it is like, part of me kind of wants it to be the dad, Mr. St. George. I'm probably way off on that one, but I feel like, you know what, if it was, I could see it being like him being annoyed, like being really toxic masculinity coming at Nell and Christine, Mrs. St. George, and then something happens.
Like period dramas are escapism, but I also like that there's some really kind of strong but subtle storylines that are kind of very representative of where we are today, and give you something to really think about in a way that's also escapism with some really beautiful hair and makeup.
Absolutely. Well, I know y'all, I'm taking up more of your time. I'm so sorry, but hopefully we can do this again, you know, maybe at the end of the season. That way we can talk about things that we weren't allowed to talk about. Thank y'all so much. And thank you for the work that y'all did, because I know it was a whole lot of work and a labor of love. So truly appreciate it.